Have you ever wondered why certain people just won't leave your mind? No matter how much time passes, they keep showing up. In your thoughts, in your dreams, even in your quietest moments. That ex-partner who drifts into your sleep. The co-worker whose words echo long after the day is done. Or perhaps the one who hurt you. Their face rising up in your awareness when you least expect it. Why does this happen? Why do some people take up so much space within us, even when we try to let go? The wisdom of Zen Buddhism gives us profound insight into this. These teachings, thousands of years old, are not only timeless, but deeply practical. They help us understand not only why this happens, but also how to find peace with it. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 powerful reasons from Buddhist wisdom that explain why someone remains in your mind, and 7 pathways to freedom and liberation. Stay with me until the end, because reason number 7 is perhaps the most transformative. It could change the way you view every relationship in your life. But before we begin, I invite you to take a deep breath and allow yourself to listen with an open heart. Often, we believe that constant thoughts of someone mean we love them deeply. But Zen Buddhism teaches us to look closer. True love brings peace. Clinging brings turbulence. If thoughts of this person spark jealousy, anxiety, or restless checking of their social media, it's not love you're experiencing. It's attachment. The Buddha taught that clinging is the root of suffering. And when we cling to another person, their image burns inside us like a hot coal. We hold it, intending to throw it, but in truth, we are the ones who get burned. Liberation begins when we can see the difference. Love is open. Love is kind. Clinging is restless and demanding. And once we recognize clinging for what it is, we can practice loving kindness instead. A love that wishes well without needing to possess. In Buddhism, karma is not punishment. It is simply unfinished business, a cycle of energy waiting for completion. When someone won't leave your thoughts, it may be because there's still a lesson waiting to be learned. Perhaps they hurt you, and the pain was never truly acknowledged. Perhaps you hurt them, and guilt quietly lingers. Or maybe they carried a life lesson you haven't yet integrated. These karmic ties act like magnets, pulling your awareness toward them until the lesson is complete. Buddhism reminds us, no encounter is accidental. Each person who enters our lives is a teacher. And sometimes, the ones who remain most persistently in our minds are our greatest teachers of all. So when you notice these recurring thoughts, instead of asking why can't I forget them, ask, what lesson am I avoiding? What emotion have I left unprocessed? What truth about myself am I refusing to face? The persistent thought is not the enemy. It is the pointer, the arrow showing you where healing waits. Zen and Jungian psychology both speak of the shadow. The shadow is the part of ourselves we deny, reject, or hide. Very often, the people who occupy our thoughts are mirrors reflecting this shadow back to us. If someone's confidence irritates you, it may be because you've denied your own strength. If their flaws haunt you, perhaps you are avoiding those same flaws within yourself. Our minds use them like a projection screen, showing us the movie of our unconscious. Buddhism invites us into self-inquiry. What quality in them unsettles me the most? What part of myself do they reflect back to me? When you recognize this truth, their grip loosens. They are no longer the enemy inside your mind, but the mirror that helped you see yourself more clearly. Another reason someone lingers in your thoughts is because you're attached to a specific outcome. You want reconciliation. You crave recognition. You imagine revenge. Or you long for reunion. This fixation creates endless mental rehearsal. Your mind keeps replaying possible scenarios, trying to create the outcome you desire. But Zen Buddhism teaches, all suffering arises from clinging to how things should be, instead of accepting how they are. The antidote: beginner's mind, meeting each moment freshly, without expectation. When you release the story of what should happen, you open the door to peace in what is. One of the Buddha's most radical teachings is this: You are not your thoughts. Yet when someone takes over your mind, you may have fallen into identifying with your thoughts about them. Instead of seeing these thoughts as passing clouds, you treat them as reality itself, and so they grow stronger, feeding on your attention. Meditation teaches us to step back. When the thought arises, "I miss them," shift your awareness gently. There is a thought of missing them. This simple recognition creates space. The thought no longer owns you. It becomes a cloud drifting through the vast sky of your mind. When someone dominates our thoughts, we fall into the illusion that it will always be this way, that the pain will last forever, that they will always matter this much. But Buddhism reminds us, everything is impermanent. Every thought, every feeling, every attachment, all are changing, all the time. Even the deepest pain eventually softens. Even the most intense longing eventually fades. When you see clearly that this too shall pass, their grip on you weakens. You no longer fear the permanence of your suffering. This final reason is the deepest of all. From a Buddhist perspective, certain souls enter our lives as assignments. They are part of our path, guides to our awakening. So when someone refuses to leave your thoughts, what if it's not a problem, but an opportunity? What if their presence is the exact lesson your soul needs to grow into its next stage of awakening? Buddhism teaches that our hardest relationships often carry the greatest treasures. The person who feels like a tormentor in your mind may actually be your most profound teacher. So instead of asking, "How do I forget them?" ask, "What awakening are they guiding me toward?" This shift changes everything. Your suffering becomes your doorway to wisdom. Now that we understand these 7 reasons, how do we move forward? 1. Practice mindful observation. When thoughts arise, don't fight them, notice them. Let them float past like leaves on a stream. To investigate with compassion, ask, "What lesson is this thought pointing toward?" Do so with kindness, not judgment. 3. Release through acceptance. True release is not forced forgetting. It is allowing thoughts to come and go, without clinging to them as mine. 4. Redirect with intention. Each time they appear in your thoughts, use it as a bell of mindfulness. Come back to the present moment. 5. Practice loving kindness, meditation. Send well wishes. May I be free. May they be free. May all beings be free. This softens the grip of obsession into compassion. There is a Zen metaphor I love. Your mind is like a river. This person is like a stone dropped into it. At first, the disturbance is great. Waves, ripples, splashes. But if the river keeps flowing, eventually the stone either settles into the riverbed or is carried away by the current. The same is true for your thoughts. They may disturb you now, but with awareness, they will either integrate or dissolve. Your task is not to force the river, but to let it flow. Remember, your mind is as vast as the sky. The people who trouble you are only passing clouds, and when seen through eyes of wisdom, every visitor carries a gift. Thank you for walking this path with me today. May you find peace with the visitors of your mind, and may every thought become a step toward awakening.